Amigos del Extra Base, es un gusto para nosotros estar con Skip Schumaker, el manager de los Marlins de Miami, y que algunos de ustedes recordarán en Venezuela con los Tigres de Aragua en el año 2004. Skip, welcome to El Extra Base for the first time we have you here.
Thanks for having me.
And I know that some of our fans, especially the ones from Tigres, recognize and remember you. So I wanted to ask you, what do you remember about your experience in the Venezuelan Winter League in '04?
Well, I didn't know what I was getting myself into, honestly. Played Double A that year. I was a little bit older in Double A, and they told me that I needed to be ready to come into Major League Camp in Venezuela Winter League. They thought would be the best opportunity for me to maybe make the team the following year out of Big League Camp. So I got to Venezuela, didn't know what to go, where to be, and I met Buddy Bailey right away. Some really good people in that organization right away. Made me feel at home. Beautiful city. And the hotel was great, so I'm like, all right, I can maybe do this. First game, 20,000 fans, band everywhere, music loud. It felt like playoff baseball. It was really cool. I've never been in a stadium more than like 5,000 people, so when I had like 15 or 20,000, it was really, really fun.
What was your main focus when you got there? Because for some players, when they're in Double A, Single A, Triple A, it's more about developing. But when you get down there, it's real games, and every single game matters. So how was that transition for you?
Well, it was both for me because I needed to continue to develop to be a major leaguer. So I needed to learn how to hit spin better, like curveball, changeup better. And when you get to Venezuela, you get to face a lot of guys that played in the major leagues before, or higher levels, Double A, Triple A, that are really good. What I didn't realize is how intense it was, and winning really did matter. It wasn't like an Arizona Fall League where you're still developing and win or loss, it doesn't matter. I didn't realize how intense it was and how passionate the fans were, and I think that was the best thing for me because you needed to do both.
You mentioned a very important name in Venezuela Baseball League history. It's Buddy Bailey. He's coming back this year, though, to the Tigres for the first time in a very long time. What did you learn from Buddy in that time?
Well, he had big league experience. I was lucky to have a major league manager in Double A named Mark DeJean, who taught me the game the right way, and it continued my development to know what Major League Baseball managers think about and look like. And Buddy helped me through that, how to prepare, how to get ready for a game with a loud crowd, intense crowd. Being a foreign player, never been that way before. He helped me through that. And I think, realizing it's all about relationships. He was really good with the Latin guys. He was really good with the American guys. And I always thought about that is, I coached one day. It can't be just the American guys over here and the Latin guys over here. It's got to be a combination of guys to make this thing work and to win. And I thought he was really good at that.
How much it helped you to get the culture, because it's a different language, different currency, the way to you order food, travel, and all of that. How was that part for you?
It was hard. I ate a lot of repas, and that was probably really all I had. So there wasn't a ton of American food there at the time. I think Johnny Rockets maybe. I think it was the only hamburger place that I had food at. But the people there were great. They were welcoming. They helped me out a lot. The players helped me out a lot to figuring out where to go. I was never bothered. It was great, and I had a great experience, and I highly recommend any players in our organization. When I was in San Diego, I was in Cincinnati. If you have a chance to go to Venezuela, you have to play there because it can only help in where you're trying to be.
Any type of favorite arepa you had over there?
I usually go with the standard chicken, stuffed arepa. I don't go really outside of that.
Also, one more, Skip. That day, and for Venezuelan Heritage here coming up in a couple of weeks, obviously it's going to be a big crowd. You already experienced some WBC games, some Heritage nights. What are you expecting for that night?
I went to the Venezuela WBC game, and it was 40,000 people here, loud. The thing about the Venezuelans, for me, is what stuck out is how passionate they are. They're into every pitch, every out. Doesn't matter if they're up by 10, down by 10. They're still having fun, making it a good experience, and they know baseball. They really know the game, and it's not just coming and watching win-loss, whoever wins and loss, it doesn't matter. Like, they're super passionate, and that's what I took away the most.
Just a couple more before I let you go. Miggy Cabrera is going to be celebrated that day. Always see you face him a lot in Jupiter, Cardinals, and Marlins. What can you say about about facing him and just Miggy's career in general?
Well, if it wasn't for Albert, I would say he's top 2 right-handed hitter ever. Unfortunately, I played for Albert, so I'm a little biased, and I think Albert is the best right-handed hitter ever. People debate me on that all the time, but Miggy Cabrera is right next to Albert Pujols. I never wanted to see him up to bat. I definitely didn't want to see him up to bat with a guy on second or third because I knew he was going to drive the ball to right field. There's no way you could get him out. I played against him in Double-A also when he was 19 years old, and he led the league in stolen bases. I mean, this guy was a freak. So congratulations on an unbelievable career, and I was just glad I got to see him up front and close and got to play against him.
And finally, just an invite for the Venezuelan fans to come to that game.
Well, we need you because it's I know your passion. I know how loud it gets when something good happens. It really does affect the player. And when we hear the fans cheer for us or even boo us, that's what gets our blood going. And the more we can have here, the better off for the Marlins.
Thank you so much, Skip.
All right, thank you.